Ant-Man goes up Thanos' bum, and then Ant-Man gets bigger, and then Scrooge McDuck gets bigger inside Thanos' bum, and then he dies. They all die. Loser. I can hear sounds.
The sound of Star Wars.
The sound of the Simon and Garfunkel album, The Sound of Star Wars.
I mean, I've told you about the Sounds of Star Wars album, haven't I?
The disco one.
Yeah, no, it's the one where it's the Star Wars soundtrack from the episode 4, but it's all synthesizers. Because my mate had it in third year of uni, so I think he bought it at a garden centre, and he was like, "This, what is this? I'll get it." And it was all synthesizers, and obviously he played it to me in third year. And I was like, this is amazing. And then I think Connor was in the Isle of Man, or one of the isles that like near. And he sent me a picture of it as jokes, like, "Oh, do you have this?" And I was like, "No, I actually really want this. Can you get it for me?" So I think he walked 40 minutes back to that shop that he got it, and then brought it back from the Isle of Man or whatever. I did try to record it through the record through Audacity onto MP3 and try to upload it on YouTube, but it got copyright striked, so it never got loaded.
All the best Star Wars things you get from garden centres, I always think.
What have you found in the garden centre?
Nothing, sadly, but I like the sound of finding something Star Wars in a garden centre.
You never find anything good about Star Wars in a garden centre, but you're hoping the off chance there will, so you have a reason to say it.
Like a Darth Vader plant pot, yeah.
I think I did that once when I was in primary school, and we got paint pots given to him, draw on. So I turned it upside down and drew Darth Vader's head on it. I'm 90% sure I did that, because it sounds exactly like the kind of thing I would do.
But anyway, welcome to the second episode of the Sacred Jedi podcast.
Speaking of, episode 2, opinions. Let's start with a great topic.
Yeah.
Everyone's favourite film.
Because I guess everybody's going to be skipping to this episode, as we said before, because no one ever watches the first episode
This
of the
will
podcast.
probably be just as bad, you know?
Yeah, it's going to be worse.
We'll wait till episode 50 and people probably... We might start picking up round then.
Yeah. Episode 2, yeah.
Attack of the Clones.
The one
with infamous
I always think
romance.
It's worse than it is. I
I always think it's better than it is.
Because there's lots of bits in it that are strange, like the bit where C-3PO's head gets put on another droid.
I'm fine with that.
I quite like that. Yeah. I always forget about those silly bits in it. But yeah, there's lots of romance scenes, isn't there, between Anakin?
Yeah, probably both of our least favourites.
Probably, yeah.
Mostly because of the romance in the first half.
There's a lot of unnecessary scenes of just the love between these two characters.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, really, because it's a necessary part of the plot to kind of get the whole kind of lead into Revenge of the Sith. But it's so poorly written.
Yeah.
Because obviously with the original trilogy, it was a 30-year-old man writing films kind of about angst and wanting to be a bigger part of the world he's in. Whereas the prequels, he'd be 50 by then.
Yeah.
And not to diss George Lucas, as much as we love the guy, he got a bit out of a touch with the young people, didn't he?
Yeah. So we can make a rough guess of what kids these days are talking about in space. Space Kids.
Space Kids.
That was the original name, wasn't it?
Yeah, episode 2, Space Kids.
Space Kids. Space Kids in Love.
But yeah, apart from that, I think that really brought it down.
Yeah.
The whole romance thing, as necessary as it was very poorly written. But the part with Obi-Wan trying to find Camino, and that I really like.
There's some amazing bits in it.
There's some, and the whole Geonosis, the Battle of Geonosis.
Yeah.
Is,
and like seeing Yoda for the first time, like
oh yeah,
I remember, because we were just talking about this before, seeing the prequels in the cinema for the first time. James hasn't.
I've never seen a prequel film in the cinema. In fact, I've never seen the original trilogy because we're not that old.
Yeah.
The only prequel film I've ever seen in the cinema was the 3D version of The Phantom Menace that they brought out back in 2012, I think, because they were trying to re-release all the films in 3D.
Remind people about them.
Yeah, remember these films? We can still make money off that, can't we?
I've still got the 3D glasses for that with Darth Maul on them.
Oh, I never got that. We just got regular, boring 3D glasses.
You're missing out.
Double-bladed glasses.
But yeah, there's a lot of parts of episode 2 I really like.
Jango Fett.
Yeah.
I mean, I know some people probably weren't too happy when that came out about him being a clone of the Stormtroopers, essentially. But it's interesting to see that kind of like lineage continue and now see how everything ties in.
Yeah.
I mean, it could have gone either way, and I'd be more than happy either way because obviously I was too young to kind of understand at the time what kind of Star Wars.
Yeah.
I was too young, I guess, to understand kind of storytelling. You know, when how old you've been, about 7 or 8 or whatever. I wasn't. You know, you just take things at face value, don't you?
Like I was saying, I remember the first time seeing episode 2, and like that's a bit, as a kid, that's a bit you want to see, is like all the battles, and that's a bit you see remember.
Yeah, you want to see Obi-Wan fighting Jango Fett, or that bit in the arena where all the Jedi are like ganging up. Yeah,
big punch up.
Yeah,
I remember seeing Yoda like get out his lightsaber the first time, like jumping about.
This little Muppet geriatric. It's finally like jumping about like a madman.
Like he's had too many cans of Coke and he's bouncing off the wall.
Too much caffeine.
I remember leaving the cinema thinking how cool that was. Seeing a little green guy jumping about. Easily pleased, I suppose.
Yeah. Excuse me. Another. Fuck this up, haven't we? We're run out of what to talk about.
The first break in the conversation there. This is when you always cut back to what's happening in the game.
Yeah, I was just about to do that, you know.
When you run out of interesting things to say, it's like, look at me opening doors.
I had to re-record this bit. I only started this one a few days before recording this episode of the podcast, actually, because with the first episode, we did that. I recorded that 6 months in advance. With this, I recorded it the day before, or 2 days before, and you know that thing where you think things are going really well, with the recording of the gameplay. I'm not gonna bother checking to see if everything's fine. I did that. Obviously, that was a bad thing to do, because obviously I get about half an hour in, I'm like, this is going too well. I should have checked, really. And of course, it recorded the video. It recorded the video fine. Unfortunately, it recorded the bottom 10th of the screen fine.
That would have been alright.
So you would have been able to see saying the force power is fine, completely fine. For how much health I've got.
That's what we really need to know.
That's it. It's what we were talking about the last episode. All we care about is the menus and the UI. Who cares about Star Wars? We're all here for the menus.
I wouldn't be surprised if, imagine like the most nichest podcast possible, like that, like looking at menus, or like a font. But to be honest, I'd probably listen to a font podcast.
Yeah, I'm sad enough to be into my fonts. I like a good font.
Sci-fi fonts, the podcast.
Orbesh, number 1.
Top 10.
Right next to us, of course, for a Star Wars podcast, of course we've got Star Wars things lying right next to us.
Yeah.
We've got the Sith holocron here.
Yeah.
If you could pass it, please.
Yeah. Because we were like planning to do this for a while, and we were trying to figure out a location to do it. And we decided on there's like a back room in my house. So I've set up the
Which
room.
is a not
Yeah, where
a leg doctor's office or something.
where my dad used to work, yeah, and I've set it up with a few Star Warsy things to sort of set the mood, even though no one's going to see it apart from James here. So yeah, one of the things.
Saw them as. To be fair, I've been wanting to see this holocron for a while. I've never seen one of these kind of. What is it? The Book of Sith and
yeah.
Book of Jedi or whatever they were called. Like there were special editions that came with, obviously the whole Sith holocron,
Yeah.
and there's a big gold triangle button here, and I'm sure this is going to drown out anything we're saying, but I'm going to press it anyway. It opens up and pushes the book out, which is so over the top.
Yeah, and out of this little like pyramid shape comes this one of the Star Wars books, Book of the Sith.
The Book of Sith.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's got these little gubbins in, I guess. It's like a little compass which says in Orbesh as well. I'm sure most people, if you listen to this, you're probably sad enough to understand what half of this shit means, you know. But we've got something that says Night Sister Talisman and lightsaber crystal. Well, that's not really that fancy, is it?
Not really.
Lightsaber crystal. It's just a little bit of
bit of plastic.
translucent red plastic. I mean, it's neat. I'll give it that. It's kept me interested.
Piqued my interest. But yeah, there's a lot of strange Star Wars stuff that you collect. This is probably one of them.
Oh, I'm so jealous. But yeah, I'm gonna put it back now. I'm sure you'll enjoy hearing this again. Yeah, it needs help being pushed back in. I've broken the Sith. But yeah, it's really. It's something.
Something.
I was just saying to you a few days back, the audio's a bit. But I mean, what can you do with kind of little sound chips inside a big old plastic chunk of red?
But yeah, I think
I'm so envious. I wish I lived here.
that's my dad's. He's
As bad as us.
But yeah, we were saying
if not worse.
the other day we were a bad influence on each other with Star Wars things, because we met at uni, and we sort of started gradually because
because I think I stopped being interested in Star Wars about 2010 or something. It was only like 5 years later in 2015 when we met at uni.
Yeah, because that was when Force Awakens came.
Yeah, it was about that.
So we started talking about that.
It got us back interested, and it realised how sad I was spending my days on Wikipedia.
Yeah. Many hours spent looking up the strange things on Wikipedia. But yeah, we got each other back into buying Lego as well.
The Lego Star Wars, of course. We're such a bad influence with each other, because we're so good with money as well. And then what is it? I think you started getting the little Lego Simpsons minifigures.
Yeah. And then
and I was like, I need me some of them. I bought a couple, and I was like, it's that kind of feeling of that kind of carefree feeling as a kid, that kind of excitement of getting a new little thing you can put together.
Yeah, and swapping them,
and then
like a man.
and then what? It turned to the cheaper £20 sets.
Yeah.
Was it the carbon freezing chamber? stuff like that. And then I think at the end of my first year in uni, about midway 2016, I bought the Emperor's Throne Room Lego set, which...
It's where my...
As good as it is, it's a bad sign, because it's the start of me wasting all my money.
Yeah. It's, you know, you should be worrying when all of your student loan is disappearing on Star Wars Lego.
And then I think you've got the what was the most recent one? Snoke's Throne Room. You got
everyone's favourite bit. Snoke's Throne Room.
Which I was hoping. I think I've said to you before, before Last Jedi came out, I was really hoping that was going to be the turning point for like.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
That when Last Jedi.
Yeah.
I was hoping that one of the characters was gonna turn to the other side. You know, like either Rey joins the dark side or Kylo Ren joins the light side.
Yeah.
Obviously, if Rey joined the dark side, she'd probably join the light side in Episode 9. But I'd be more than happy. It'd be something different. I mean, then again, Episode 8 turned out different, didn't it?
Yeah. Do you think anybody will change sides in Episode 9, like Rey or Kylo Ren? Do you think either of them will change?
That was the thing you were talking about, wasn't it, a while back?
Yeah.
That in the Episode 9 trailer, Kylo Ren's driving his TIE fighter towards Rey, but he doesn't shoot her.
Yeah, so that's what made me think that that's like a training thing. Both of them are training on the holodeck in Deep Space Nine. And it all turns out that it's all...
It's J.J. Abrams, isn't it? Obviously it's going to be a tie-in to Star Trek. I got my girlfriend into Star Wars because of the Lego Star Wars games. Because we were in Kex or CEX or Sex, as it's pronounced in the advert. There's big debates over that.
That's on the postcard.
And in Kex we saw Lego Star Wars 2. This is a game, obviously one of my favourite games from my childhood.
Yeah.
And this would have only been a few months ago this happened as well. We saw it in Kex.
Yeah.
I told my girlfriend that Chewbacca's in this. My girlfriend's never seen a Star Wars film, but one of the first things she saw when we met, when she came back to mine for the first time, was a Chewbacca pop vinyl bobblehead.
Yeah. That was the first Star Wars thing she ever saw.
It wasn't the first thing she ever saw, but she knows about Chewbacca. When she saw that, she was like, she was telling me how much she loves Chewbacca. but yet had never seen a film, and she was never interested until, as I was saying, like, we saw Lego Star Wars, and I was saying, "This has got Chewbacca in this," and she was like, "Okay, I've got to play this then." So
I like that.
Obviously, we played through Lego Star Wars 2, and then Lego Star Wars 1.
Yeah.
But as we finished a level in the Lego Star Wars games, we watched the film afterwards.
Oh, okay.
So she played through Episode 4, and then was like, "Can we watch the film?" and obviously so on.
Yeah.
Like Episode 5, Episode 6, and then the prequels. This is a good segue. This episode, this mission in Jedi Academy is, you'll probably see in a second, is very heavily based on Tremors.
Oh, okay.
You'll see in a second. I'm not going to spoil it for you.
I think I remember this level actually. I think I saw you playing this before.
You there. Thank the Force you've come. This
The one with
place
the big space worms.
The big space worms, yeah.
Yeah.
Or was it Dune?
June, yeah.
Dune.
Yeah.
So I know it's Tremors based on Dune, isn't it?
I'm not sure.
Because they're both what, big space worms, haven't
Is
they?
that the one with Shia LaBeouf? Where he's digging all those holes.
Which one, Tremors or
Tremors.
Tremors is the one with what's his face? EE guy. Kevin Bacon, isn't it?
Bacon. No, I don't think I've seen that.
I haven't seen either. Oh, I'll tell a lie. I've seen the first half of David Lynch's Dune because me and my girlfriend, we both like David Lynch. Thanks to you, with a razor head.
Yeah. It's
so we got the collection of obviously David Lynch films, which included Dune, and I could not get through half of it. I think me and my girlfriend tried watching it together. We got through about a quarter of it, and she was like, "This is very dry."
It is.
And so I was like, "Okay, that's fine. I'll watch the rest of it on my own." And I think I got through another quarter, so about halfway through the film, and I was like, I could not get into it at all.
Yeah, I was the same.
It's so dry. I mean, if you like it, good for you, but you're fucking wrong, because it's it's one of the most boring films I've ever seen. it's just so slow. There's no action to it. It's all a bunch of talking for the first half. I think about halfway through the action started, but by then I just stopped caring.
Yeah. There's a lot, because a lot of people say it's like one of the things that inspired Star Wars, wasn't it? Definitely the book Dune.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. It's like very kind of like, I guess,
there's a lot about like
space fantasy kind of thing that I guess Star Wars kind of continued.
Spice, lots about spices as well.
Spice, exactly. Yeah, Spice Mines of Kessel.
Yeah. Do you know in Solo, right?
Right. That's a film.
It's a film. Yes, Star Wars.
A Star Wars story, in fact.
Story. Like in, if you've seen it, the Millennium Falcon's in it, and it's really,
is it? In Star Wars, never.
It's really clean, isn't it? It's all like really nicely done up.
Yeah.
And then like, because that's only a few years before A New Hope.
It's about 10 years, I think.
Yeah, and like in Solo, it like goes through loads of stuff in space and like messes it up, and it gets really dirty on the outside. But on the inside, what happens there? Why?
I don't know if you just noticed how bad I am in this level. Is that I keep trying to jump there and I keep falling up, and then right behind me this worm keeps popping up. I'm not sure if you can actually kill it, because I think at some point, either before or after this point in the game, I tried throwing some thermal detonators to try and lure
in its mouth
the worm away. I'm not sure if you might be able to throw a thermal detonator into its mouth and kill it. I can't remember. I know they can die, because I remember spawning a Rancor to fight one once, and the Rancor managed to kill one of these worms.
But yeah, what happened to the Millennium Falcon on the inside?
They just forgot to take care of it. You know, when you don't wash the inside of your car for a while, it gets a bit grubby.
He just crashed into a dirt planet.
But yeah, think how much like Han Solo cares about the Millennium Falcon. You'd think he'd like give it a wash in the inside.
Yeah, give it a clean, mate. Bit of Mr. Sheen.
I can understand why people think I personally think it's one of the weakest of the new Star Wars films.
Really?
Because it doesn't help that there was obviously the rewrites. Like they took the was it Lord and Miller who directed the Lego Movie?
Yeah, it would have been
out of it, and
to see what they would have done with it.
There are bits you can tell that they've done, but it's obviously with anything where you change a director halfway through, it's not going to end up being amazing. If it can, then good on them. Like but I feel like
you've done a Star Wars.
You can't understand fully what's going through the head of another director. So obviously having someone else halfway through is gonna like impact it dramatically.
Yeah.
But as I was saying about Dune, you've seen the interview on YouTube or wherever where George Lucas did invite David Lynch to direct Return of the Jedi.
Yeah. It's a very, very funny video if you haven't seen it.
It's interesting because people keep saying, I've seen people who say, oh, imagine if David Lynch did do Return of the Jedi, but I feel like from like that interview with David Lynch, he didn't seem that interested about about doing Star Wars.
He just wanted to leave, didn't he?
Yeah, he was saying it's like he didn't understand what Wookiees or Ewoks were that George Lucas was on about.
Yeah.
So he wanted like nothing to do with it really, which is kind of ironic considering how weird David Lynch likes to be.
He must have crossed a line where he thought, no, this is too weird for me.
Giant hairy people, that's too much. Reverse midgets, that's where it's at, baby.
Reverse midgets.
Basically what that guy from Twin Peaks is, isn't he?
I just got what you were talking about. I thought you were talking about Ewoks. And why are they reverse midgets? But yeah, that's another interesting thing about Star Wars, because I've got a friend who won't watch Star Wars. Like, I've suggested it when I've been round theirs, and they've they straight out refused to watch it. They're not interested at all. Or was I just talking over a good bit then?
I think I keep dying over and over again in this bit. It takes me a while before I realise the error of my ways.
Don't get eaten by the
that's a good trick I've learned in games actually, is to don't die. This is where I this is where I try the whole thermal detonator trick, where if I throw it somewhere else, it might move. I don't think it works at all.
Do you know that Fatboy Slim song, Weapon of Choice?
Yeah.
There's a bit in that where they reference Dune. Do you know where Christopher Walken's like dancing about?
Oh yeah.
Dancing about the hotel. And there's a bit where he goes, walk without rhythm and you won't attract the worm. That's a quote from Dune. That was a pointless fact for you there.
For all you Dune fans out there, you love that boring as fuck film.
What are you Christopher Walken fans? That's one of my favourite music videos, like, just to see Christopher Walken dancing about.
I wouldn't want to see that though.
True.
Sorry, you were saying about your friend who doesn't want to watch Star Wars.
Yeah, she completely refuses to watch it, and I'm always like really fascinated as to why.
Because people have different tastes in films, Will.
But even like, she doesn't want to watch it just to see if she'd like it or not. She just won't watch it at all, which I always find interesting. Like, I'm always asking, like, but I understand, because of, like, there was a video I was watching, there's a YouTube channel, Girlfriend Reviews, where she talks about her boyfriend making her watch Star Wars. And she talks about, like, growing up, like, sort of people our age, like in their 20s, grow up with all the stuff about Phantom Menace, and all the publicity you see for it is like ugly monsters and like weird looking things. It's like, well, I don't want to watch this. This looks scary and strange, and I understand that because we're like so used to seeing them.
Yeah, because I can't remember a time where I haven't known about Star Wars.
Yeah. And to somebody who hasn't seen them, seeing like a giant furry ape man, like, talking in a different language and everybody understands him, that's like enough to make somebody think this film's stupid and I don't want to watch this, which I understand, but
They're wrong.
They're wrong. And they should watch it all and love it.
It was freaks who obsess about them giant hairy weirdos talking in different languages.
Yeah. This level's taking you far too long to do.
It's if you've seen, like, I kept dying all the time. It's hard to tell where, like, the worms are. I guess you can tell through the noise, but I realise this now. I wasn't paying attention to where the noise was. I just kept running into the sand and hoping I'd be fast enough to outrun them. I think I'm done. Because I only thought there was 3 things to collect in this level. Oh, no, I tell a lie. This is the 3rd thing where I think I'm done with the level, and I'm like, why isn't the level ending? Should I go to the cockpit? And then I see this thing to my left right here. I'm like, oh, okay. There's 4 things in this level. So yeah, I'm just realising.
Oh.
Only one part of the ship may be carried at a time. I think this is another thing that if you've been watching the video earlier in the level, I was trying to pick up another thing and obviously not doing it.
Yeah.
I mean, how you'd be able to carry there's a thermal detonator trick again, that I still don't know if it works. I was literally going on like Tremors logic or like Dune, that if something else lands on the sand, will that distract it from me?
Scare it away. There was another something else I wanted to ask you was about because you know people in Star Wars can't, like Jedi can't get married.
Mm-hmm.
Can other people get married in Star Wars?
Would you mean just anyone else?
Yeah, just like ordinary.
Yeah, I mean, there's a whole Wikipedia page that I showed my girlfriend a while back of the marriage of Chewbacca and Malatabuk, which is Chewbacca's wife, if you don't know.
Was that
from his wife from the holiday special?
Was that you trying to hint at your girlfriend that you want a Star Wars themed wedding?
Dressed up in like in Life Day robes.
Yeah, just as a big Wookiee.
Of course, nothing but the best.
Everybody else has to dress up as Wookiees at the wedding.
Actually, that's the thing. The Star Wars holiday special, was the first film my girlfriend ever Star Wars film my girlfriend ever saw.
I love that. I think
because she really liked Chewbacca.
Yeah.
So
why would
the whole film about Wookiees was like her ideal film.
Why wouldn't you want to watch it? I love that was her first introduction to Star Wars. I think it's the perfect.
The first film.
Everybody always asks like, "Oh, should I watch the prequels first, or should I watch the original films first?" They're like, "No, holiday special."
Holiday special, of course.
You can watch.
It can only get better from there.
Exactly. Yeah. Things can only get better.
Speaking of, what is your preferred way of watching the films? Obviously, everyone's got a different opinion. I feel like there is no objective way to watch them.
Yeah, I think if I'm watching them myself, I always go like 4, 5, 6, and then 7 and 8. I usually miss out the prequels.
That's interesting.
Just because when I've seen them so many times now, I just like to have the original ones in the background.
Yeah.
But if before a new film comes out, like every time before a new Star Wars film comes out, we'll watch. It'll have to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah.
7, 8. You have to watch them in order before a new film comes out. Just so you remind yourself of the order.
I've never actually watched the whole like saga before watching a new Star Wars film.
Really?
No.
It's good. Our whole family usually does it. Apart from my mum, who gets fed up of seeing them for 500 times.
She's not into Star Wars.
She likes the originals.
So it's usually the mums that aren't too fussed.
Yeah. They're fed
It's
up
like
with
my mum doesn't care.
Yeah.
Loves Indiana Jones though.
Yeah, my mum does too.
Like, whenever we used to go on holiday, the only films she ever wanted to bring on holiday was the Indiana Jones trilogy. So that was the only films. That reminds me of just going on holiday to Butlins or whatever.
Butlins means Indiana Jones films. Which is her favourite one out of the first 3?
I have no clue, to be honest. I think she just likes all of them. She's just a big fan of like those kind of like
I think my
pulpy adventure films.
Yeah, my mum just likes Harrison Ford. I think that's what it is.
And I know. I think I've said before to you that my grandma has a friend who has never been interested in Star Wars at all.
Yeah.
But then when Force Awakens came out, my grandma's friend was really interested in Star Wars all of a sudden. And she was like, "Oh yeah," she was like to my grandma, "Can we watch it?" And my grandma was like, "Oh, that's not something I ever thought you'd be interested in. Why do you want to watch it now?" And my grandma's friend was like, "I just really fancy Harrison Ford." And I'll give him this, for as nearly 80-year-old man, he looks really good, doesn't he?
Doesn't he? Yeah. You would never guess that he was that old.
Oh, there was someone else I was looking at whose age surprisingly well. I can't remember who it was though. I don't even think it was anything to do with Star Wars.
Well, you can't talk about it then because this is a Star Wars podcast.
I'm gonna, if I remember it, just for my own sake. Who was it? I'm not going to try and remember because this is going to slow the whole podcast down.
Just like this is what our usual conversations go like. We'll be talking about something and then there'd be like a 10-minute gap of us
I
trying to remember.
don't know if you've noticed in the past 2 episodes, for anyone listening, that we segue a lot.
Yeah.
We start talking about something, and then somebody else brings something else up, and then we completely forget the original point, which we've just done now because I have no. That was it. The viewing order of Star Wars.
Yeah.
You do it.
If it's just me, I watch the original ones. But like if it's before a film,
See, if you asked my personal viewing thing, and I know you didn't,
no, I didn't.
because no one actually cares, would be the release order, I'd say.
Yeah.
Because actually, before I talk about this is another fight. As I was saying in the last episode, I've realised that. Oh, never mind.
You did that
These fights are over really quickly. I mean, they take a good while later on because you get like more like advanced dark side students. It takes me a while to get out of here as well because I despite this being in the demo, which I've said in the last episode that I played over and over again, and this being in, I can't remember how to do it, so I'm just shooting the ceiling for a good while. I think the lightsaber's the only one that works, that opens this.
I don't think you've ever played a Star Wars game.
I've never played a Star Wars game. In fact, I didn't play this. If you look on the channel willmotion.tv, you'll find the original video I ripped this off from.
No, don't go there. You'll regret it.
It's a good YouTuber to check out, Will Motion, actually. plug in you.
Check out Jimmy XX.
Who has no videos.
Did you used to do that as a kid? Put up YouTube videos?
I never put up a YouTube video until I had to do it for our second year showreel project in uni.
Really?
Yeah. I'd never put any video up on YouTube before.
You're missing out.
I guess I was more of a private person. I didn't really like putting. I'd spend hours working on stuff, but I'd never put it out. It'd just be like for my own entertainment, I guess.
Star Wars things on a train, I always really like.
That I was just about to start talking about that.
Like
because of the music.
Yeah.
It's always hyperspace.
Yeah.
From Empire Strikes Back. It's got that kind of like, I guess what would be the term, chugging motion of a train, doesn't it?
The rhythm, yeah.
Yeah. Because I know this piece of music. I mean, as obviously aside from Empire Strikes Back, from this level in Jedi Academy, but you know it from
the Shadows of
the Empire. Yeah.
I think that's something we should play at some point. Because that's another one of those games that I think that was my first sort of Star Wars thing I experienced. I don't think I'd seen the films. I think I'd played this game first.
Yeah.
So I've got a lot of nostalgia for it, and it's like it's not great. The controls are really bad. Like I sort of pressured James here into buying the game, and he was like, yeah, this is the controls on it. They're terrible.
It's one of those things. It's like you're used to nostalgia. It's like if you've played the game before, you kind of, as a child, like you'll obviously get it a lot more.
Yeah.
And yeah, I never played that game because I never had a. Well, I just never had it. Because I was going to say it was only on Nintendo 64, wasn't it? But it was on PC as well. But yeah, it's just a game that I'd never played before, and it's very touchy controls. I think.
And the amount of times you'll jump and then just like fly off a cliff.
Not even jump. You move. This is a game. Once we finish Jedi Academy, because one of the concepts with this was we were going to play a game full to completion and then move on to the next game afterwards. I'm still struggling with the ceiling here. So yeah, once we finish Jedi Academy, we'll probably move on to Shadows of the Empire.
Hopefully, yeah, because I think we wanted to read the book first. That's why we didn't play that first, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was the reason. We wanted to kind of get the whole. Yeah, to say how obsessed we are with Star Wars, we're both, at least I am, very slow with the books.
Yeah.
I've never been a reading person.
There's so much when it comes to Star Wars. It's hard to keep
Like
up.
the first Star Wars book I ever read was it Assault on Corellia, the first part of the Corellian trilogy,
yeah.
which would have only have been like 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I like I've said, I'm really not a reading person.
But you said like people.
But I've read all the Wikipedia articles, so I know all about it anyway.
That's all you need to know, really. This summary. But yeah, the people who don't know, the Shadows of the Empire was they wanted to make everything about a Star Wars film without the film, so they brought out a book, they brought out a comic book, they brought out a game, all loads of figures, but without the film. Obviously, they made the whole unique story between episode 5 and 6 about what everybody was getting up to.
Yeah, there was like even like a radio drama, wasn't there? Yeah, an adaptation of the book. Yeah, just that covered the book, the story of the book, but obviously as a radio, I'm pretty sure most people know what radio dramas are.
Let's recreate the whole of.
But yeah, it's essentially Star Wars without the thing that made Star Wars.
It's Star Wars without Star Wars.
This would have been it'd be early to mid 90s, wouldn't it? Before I think the concept of the Phantom Menace.
Yeah.
When people didn't know what was going on anymore with kind of the future of Star Wars, aside from I guess the man himself.
Yeah. He was planning it all along.
But yeah, have you read the book yet?
No. I'm reading Tales from Jabba's Palace at the moment, which is lots of short stories about the background characters in Return of the Jedi, which is very good.
It literally is all the background characters, isn't it?
Yeah. I think
it's one of those things. It's like it's something that nobody asked for. Like nobody asked for like the backstories of like every single background character, but it's a thing that exists. So you can't really.
That's
like. There's some really good stories in there, isn't there?
Yeah, really good. I think that's a good summary of the Star Wars expanded universe.
Yeah, that's why we're into Star Wars. Is like
nobody really asked for it, but it's there.
It's something nobody asked for, but there's so much to, I guess, the universe that's been built up.
Yeah.
That it just keeps you kind of, at the very least, interested.
Yeah.
And it's something that I kind of miss about the old Star Wars before Disney bought it, is kind of how kind of far they'd go to just go and explain something.
It's like half the time it was like, oh, how can we cover up this thing that we shouldn't really have done? Or just make a bit of backstory about it, and that'll be fine.
I can't remember it at the moment, but I remember seeing I think it was a short story that explained how, you know, in episode 4, how what we just saw. I don't know if you saw that. There was a dark side apprentice that just was running towards me, but because we were on the other side, on the other carriage of the train, it just fell off. Great game. I love it.
Pushing people off trains.
But as I was saying, do you know in episode 4 where Obi-Wan was explaining to Luke about how like Anakin was his apprentice but was killed by Darth Vader.
Yeah.
I'm 90% sure there was a short story written to explain kind of that Obi-Wan had another pupil that called himself Darth Anakin or something so Obi-Wan had like 2 pupils at some point.
Yeah.
I could be wrong. I'm 90% sure that's what it was. If I remembered better, I might put it in the description. If I don't bother.
Fix it in post.
Greetings from post. I'm basically having to pay for
past me being a dumbass. So basically what we're talking about here is a Legends character called Halagad Ventor, who was Obi-Wan's Padawan for a brief time during the Clone Wars. At some point in the Clone Wars, Ventor and Anakin briefly swapped lightsabers in a Jedi ritual called the Concordance of Fealty, which is basically a Jedi trust exercise. This was explained in the online supplement Aliens of the Galaxy, a supplement to the Star Wars Insider magazine, to fix a continuity error in the pre-Empire Strikes Back 1979 Star Wars comic The Long Hunt, in which one of the characters tells Luke about Obi-Wan having two apprentices, one of them being Darth Vader and the other one wielding Anakin's lightsaber. So the person wielding Anakin's lightsaber would have been Halagad Ventor. It's a long and convoluted way to explain a continuity error in Star Wars, but that's exactly what we're here for at this podcast. Okay, so we have a segment now on the Sacred Jedi podcast.
We have those on this show, and a segment where we do
that we've just come up on the spot.
Yeah, where we're going to do a thing.
So what we're going to do is we're going to click a random page on Wikipedia and see how far we can discuss that.
Yeah, talk about.
Hopefully, it's not going to be some shit page about some like random background actor or whatever.
Well, no, I hope it is that. I hope it's a random character rather than just like Darth Vader.
Oh, obviously not the obvious ones.
Yeah.
But let's see. Okay, so we've got Wikipedia up right now. How did I get to it? Articles, random page. Let's see. Calibration check. Of course, the first one's about like one sentence long.
Yeah.
Calibration Check is a short story published in Galaxy Guide 9, Fragments of the Rim by West End Games. It was a short story by Corwin Shelvey. Now,
of course,
no, we have no clue about Corwin Shelvey, not by Corwin Shelvey.
I don't know who that is.
No.
I don't know what they'd be calibrating. We could guess.
Let's look up the list.
It might.
Characters: Corwin Shelvey. Locations: the Sara Rebel base.
I guess they were calibrating the
some checks.
The Death Star, maybe. I don't know. Let's choose another one.
This is a short.
Yeah, that was the worst segment possible.
That's it. We'll have to cancel the podcast now.
Yeah.
There's no redeeming it.
Okay, we've done another one now.
Oristrom.
Oristrom
was a world that was inhabited by the Stroma species. At some point, Oristrom was captured by forces of an alien warlord, Nuso Ezva, and Ezva was later driven from the world by Grand Admiral Thrawn.
Grandad
Thrawn.
Grandad Thrawn. Okay, let's do.
So we'll click a few times until we can find a page that we know what to talk about.
I hope we get to that one that's about that competition where kids drew an alien and then that became canon.
Oh, what was that called?
I can't remember. But yeah,
because wasn't there was a character that was like a rainbow alien with 3 heads that waved at people or something.
Yeah, there was this competition for fans of Star Wars where kids could draw a character.
I think it was anyone. I think there was different characters. There was a child's category, there was like a teenager's category, and there was an adult category.
But yeah, as you can imagine, it gave some very new and original characters to the Star Wars universe.
This is what we were saying. We love the stupid stuff in Star Wars, and this is right down our street. Yeah. I really wish if you asked me a few months back, I would have been able to tell you the name of that species off the top of my head.
The rainbow one.
Yeah. I think it literally is called Rainbow.
Is it?
Or it's from the Rainbow system.
We've gone down the rabbit hole of Wikipedia.
So we've already fucked this segment up.
Yeah, we've forgotten that.
We've got 926, the Wikipedia article. Yeah. The First Order Stormtrooper.
Rubbish. Yeah, we did another one. Well, that's the last time you'll ever see that segment. That didn't work.
It was worth a try. Here we are. Rainbow,
spelled Rainboh.
So what was the in the Hapes cluster as well? See who are the native species? Jeby, Jeby. So what with the competition is like the winners got their characters like canonized.
Yeah.
And then they decided, okay, we'll canonize all the kind of runners up as well. And I'll stick a picture up now just so you can see it.
Yeah. But if
I'm not gonna lie, I can't diss a child's drawing. I'm more than happy. I'm jealous. I would have loved to have a drawing I did as a child
Me
turn up
too.
in Star Wars.
I think that's if this character appears in episode 9, I'd be very happy.
I'd be more than happy. Yeah, exactly.
If you're just listening to this and you can't see the picture, it's a character with lots of legs and 3 heads they look like they've got lightsabers for necks, and then just like a sloth head for each of the heads.
and like it's white with loads of red dots on it.
Yeah, like polka dots.
As it says on here, it said the Jedi had 12 tentacles to gather red spots that shed whenever they laughed. The thing with Wikipedia is they write it so seriously, don't they?
They take this strange thing and make it
biology and appearance for this cartoon, like spotted alien.
But yeah, I like to imagine that it was like a stand-up sort of comedian in the cantina.
I could imagine. Oh.
And it would drop its spots when it laughed.
So this is from the Design an Alien contest from the Star Wars magazine, or Star Wars Galaxy magazine. It says here. We might explore these later down the line, but I think it's worth going back to the game for the moment, where it's on Hoth. We might have completely ignored, because we've had the video minimised for a while. In fact, we might just be going to this bit. No, I tell a lie.
What's happening?
So
what happened after the train?
Basically, all the pupils, well, a lot of the pupils were sent to places where there was a lot of dark side energy, well, force energy as a general.
Okay.
So stuff like Biss, Hoth was one of them, which is where this character is at the moment. And there was a bit in here where I encountered a Wampa.
Yeah.
I think was a secret area.
Look at it running at you.
There's one right here now. This is a different Wampa, but I was trying to kill it, and I was like, why is this not dying? So I tried running out of the cave, thinking I'd get away from it. This might be it right now. I even couldn't tell you. No, it's not. Right, it was earlier in the game where I encountered a Wampa, and I couldn't kill it, so I tried running away from it. Ran out of the cave, thinking maybe it won't go outside the cave. It ran towards me outside of the cave and picked me up. I was like, oh shit. But what you can do when it picks you up is you can chop its arm off. Which, you know,
that's what you really.
It's true to the films. Like, although that's the part that Mark Hamill wasn't happy with.
Yeah.
It's like a few months back. It might have been even 6 months back. I can't remember. Time flies. When you're getting old.
When you're talking about Star Wars.
But yeah, that was the thing that... Sorry, I'll let you say.
No, I was... Yeah, the Wampa scene, as you were saying, was one Mark Hamill never liked, because he thought Luke wouldn't chop off this poor little Yeti's arm.
Although I could justify it by saying, personally, that Luke obviously wasn't a Jedi yet.
Yeah,
he was still researching into. I die a lot in this bit as well.
Yeah.
But
another thing we were saying was
he wasn't that well trained in the Force, so
he wanted to.
It just wanted to survive at that point. It's like kind of like that instinct that kicks in. It's like the fight or flight.
Self-defense.
Obviously, if he's exactly,
he wanted to just kill something for once.
He's just sadistic.
Just fancied a bit of killing, as we all do.
He saw his surrogate space granddad die. Why not take his angst out on something defenceless?
Yeah. This big snow bloke's arm. Chop it off. Like the Yeti in Monsters Inc.
Who doesn't get his arm chopped off?
He just makes...
All the Wampa wanted to do was offer Luke some snow cones.
Yeah. Hey Luke, want some snow cones? It's lemon.
That's a film I haven't seen in ages. Monsters Inc. That used to be one of my favourite films when it came out.
Great film, yeah. They're doing a new series, aren't they, for Disney?
What, a Monsters Inc. series?
Yeah, Disney Plus, is it, their new streaming service?
Yeah.
They're doing because obviously they're doing lots of Star Wars series.
We've got the Cassian Andor series, The Mandalorian.
Yeah, and another one.
The new Clone Wars.
Yeah, another new Clone Wars series. They're doing another live action series they've just announced, but nobody knows what it's about.
Star Wars, probably.
Star Wars, yeah. And yeah, one of them is a Monsters Inc. series. Hopefully it's just about the Yeti.
I could imagine it being an anthology where each episode revolves around a different monster.
That would be good, yeah.
Like, kind of, I guess, on the same day or whatever.
Yeah.
You could have, like, a big, like, tie-in.
Yeah. Like after Monsters Inc. rather than before it. It's like monsters trying to do comedy. I'd be on board with that.
It's basically Seinfeld.
Yeah.
But with monsters.
Yeah, their own sitcom with monsters trying to recreate Seinfeld because I've seen it for the first time, and they're like, "I'd like observational comedy. I'm gonna talk about what it's like to be a monster." And Mike goes on stage and he goes, "How about that monster dog food deodorant? Doesn't that make you smell bad?" And nobody gets it because they're all kids and they don't laugh and they don't get a scream.
They don't understand that brand of deodorant.
Yeah.
They're too young. They're too young to have such concepts in the brain. I was trying to think of a... This shows how shit I am on the spot. I was trying to think of like a Seinfeld bit. It's like, oh, what's about the snow cones? Hey, why are they so yellow? 'Cause I sure ain't eating them, eh?
What about those airplane snow cones, eh? It was so lemony.
But that's the whole joke, isn't it, with the bloody lemon ones? It's like the yellow snow. I've just realised that.
Have you?
Yeah, the whole don't eat the yellow snow, it could be piss.
I'm glad that I was present for you realising that joke like 15 years after the film.
Look, it's been a while since I've seen Monsters Inc.
They made a joke about
piss. It's a child's favourite topic, isn't it? Fucking piss and poo.
Piss and poo. Yeah, that was like as a kid. Do you remember when those book fairs used to come to school?
Yeah.
The majority of books that used to have like poo on the cover and like sick and like
like gross kind of
things that would get like kids buying these books, get them reading, because the only thing kids want to read about is poo, which is true because I bought them.
Although I don't think much has changed today because we've still there's still like you don't realise how much kids are obsessed with poo at the moment.
Yeah.
Until you see like a box that's the only thing it says on it is poo poo narwhal, and it's one of those like little key rings with a narwhal on it, and you squeeze it and it's got like glittery poo coming out the back end of it. And as a child, I would have thought that was hilarious, but I'm 22 years old now, and it just seems
even more fun. You know?
The name, I'm not gonna lie, had me in tears. It's the video's over.
The video's ended now. We've stopped talking about the game, which was probably what we should have been talking about, and started talking about.
That's kind of yeah, we're only on the second episode. I'm surprised how little we've talked about the game so far.
Yeah, that's something, as we were saying before, we need to get. We're not very consistent with our conversation about.
No,
we keep jumping from topic to topic. So
this is the thing. There's so much to talk about, and I feel like we still imagine there's not a lot of time to talk about. We've only got like a limited amount of time to talk about things. We've got as long as however many Star Wars games there is we can fit in our hourly segments.
We've just got very excited, and every time we think of something about Star Wars we go, oh, I want to talk about that, and then we get distracted.
I mean, we've still got however much left of this game to play, so we'll have I'm sure there's plenty of Wikipedia articles that we can skip through as before to talk about.
There's a whole world of Star Wars,
whole galaxy,
of strange things to discover on Wikipedia.
And with that, I think we should close the episode here.
Yeah.
So, thanks for actually listening to the second episode. Managed to get this far. And we'll see you next week on episode 3, Revenge of the Podcast.
No, that's what I call episode 3.
The squeakquel.
Star Wars 3. Thank you.
Thank you for listening.
Okay,
Play us out.
This is the Star Wars podcast theme tune. Star Wars. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks.
Thanks for listening. See ya.